All right, so I just want to run you guys through what I was thinking for how to force the player to use sonar on the beat. So this is Wise. We just have a a music track here. And you can see the kicks are marked out here, and we can just pretend that these are, it's a 4/4 beat, so our beats are occurring every at regular intervals or whenever. These are cue markers, though. We can put these wherever we want, and then we can use a script to basically send, as the music is playing, whenever the playhead passes one of these cue points, we can send an event back into Unity with a script that kind of looks like this, and basically just it looks for this callback at the music sync user queue, and then so we just say we're going to look for this, and when we find one, we're going to do this, and this is just an arbitrary, it can be a method, it can be whatever you want. This one just happens to invoke an event in Unity. And so that's how we got this particle system to emit when this playhead reaches a cue point. It calls this function that then triggers a particle system. But that could be what you could do basically is you could put these markers slightly before each beat, and then you could say, okay, when the playhead reaches this, we're going to open a window. We're basically going to flip a Boolean to true. Instead of doing this, we're going to flip a Boolean to true that is going to stay true for a set amount of time. And what this is going to do is give the player a window to hit the key, because no human is going to be able to hit it exactly on point, right? So you're going to have to give them a little wiggle room. So the window is going to act as a wiggle room. So we just flip a Boolean to true for a set amount of time, and then while that Boolean is true, we can look for the input key for whatever the sonar, whatever the input for the sonar is going to be. And then after that set period of time, like the other side of the window will be here, after that set period of time, the Boolean flips back to false, and we stop looking for input. So that would be a really easy way to just kind of get the attacks to be only happening on the beat or very near the beat. So yeah, you could. The other idea that I had with this, though, was that you could have a portion of the game where, like say the character is just exploring and not much is happening with the enemies. The music could kind of not really have a beat, and it could kind of just be atmospheric. And we could set it so that the player could use sonar freely whenever they want. And then as, like, for example, as more enemies onto the screen or something, we could basically tell Wise to, when X amount of enemies come onto the screen, change the music to something that has a more definite beat, and then it would involve this, business with the cues, and then the player would be forced to use the sonar in sync with the beat. So that might be a cool dynamic to go back and forth between that. I don't know. It's just something I wanted to throw out, but hopefully that makes sense.